Well, I think all of them are very difficult. If you look at all the playoff series that's been going on, the teams with leads have had the biggest problems. Holding leads in the playoffs is probably one of the most difficult things. Don't even worry about winning the game. Just holding a lead is very difficult to do, and that's what we got to learn to do is play with the lead. Uh, Going into the next game, we want to close out the game, but it's not the end all. And what I don't want to do is put pressure on ourselves to do that. We want to go in with the mindset of closing out, but again, it's not the end all. We got to worry about fixing things that the mistakes we made. And if we do that, it'll help us. But the mental things going into each game, I think that was the lesson today, more so than thinking about closing out. We've got to, again, continue to improve and not make some of the mistakes we're making.
When you improve game by game, the kind of lessons this team has learned, playing a playoff game on the road, winning a playoff game on the road, and closing out that game, can you kind of go through how they've grown?
Well, we've grown. Last night you wouldn't be able to tell in the fourth quarter, but we've grown in a lot of situations. I thought our disposition going into the game, there was no back down. I thought we had a foot to the gas pedal. I like that. I thought in game one we didn't, and our disposition has changed. I think we understand the intensity, the how hard you have to play on both ends of the floor. I think we've learned that. One thing we haven't done is learn how to play with the lead, and that's something that I think, again, experience. I keep using that word. Experience is going to teach us that. What's a good possession? What's a good shot? What's a safe pass? What's the spacing? What should the spacing be on this play? All those things are ramped up when other teams are bringing their best, bringing their traps, or bringing their overplays on the wings. Those things we have to do a better job with. And that happened with us when we had a lead.
Your decisions, when you have a 10 or 15 or 20 point lead, have to be different than if you're.
You got to be safe. You got to make safe decisions. You got to make shorter passes. You've got to make defensively. You got to understand who you're closing out to and not run through them. Probably the first time in my career we had 3-4 point plays. And we have a no layup rule. We gave away 3 of those. So count up those points. And, again, Joe Johnson got going on us. I thought that was a huge plus for them offensively. But, again, that's not what put the game in jeopardy for us. It was our mental mistakes. And, again, the guys are playing their behinds off. They're rotating, they're playing, they're running the floor. But, again, now we got to put the mental aspect into the game.
Your scramble defense is sort of, maybe the biggest reason you won. Everything's on point, drawing charges. But last night, suddenly, maybe you're a step slow and all of a sudden you're barreling into shooters. How thin is that line?
It's a very thin line, very thin line. The closeout angles are very thin. How you close out on guys is huge. Who you're closing out on is huge. And a lot of them, Eric, wasn't out of our scramble defense. A lot of them was out of just typical, closing out. It wasn't out of our double team schemes. It was just, a guy open in the corner, I'm closing out to him, and how do you do that? So learning experience, every time we step on the floor is new, something's new. Again, like I said, you put your finger in one hole, another one pops up over here. So, again, it's we could have wrote a book on the fourth quarter, but the positive thing of the whole thing is we won. We found a way to win with all those mistakes. With every mistake we made, we still found a way to win, which is a great positive for a young team. That's right.
It's a discovery time for you, for your team, for people you're watching. Take me through the last 13 hours in your life.
Watching this film about 5 times, and that's probably the thing. Not sleeping for a couple of 2 or 3 hours. I think this is a playoff time. No matter where you are, there was the same way when I was in Dallas, Seattle. This time of year, you're locked in to what the other team is doing, what your team is doing, trying to find whatever millimeter that you can get to help you win the game. It may be a stance, it may be a a spot on the floor to space on, but you're looking for each and everything you can find, Steve, to help you win the game. But and that's what the playoffs are about.
Doesn't a coach live last night a lot harder, a lot longer? I mean, historically, players seem to have amnesia a lot quicker.
And it's good. That is a positive. These young guys do have amnesia, and don't. I can't have amnesia. Our coaches can't have amnesia, but no, it does. It makes it a little bit better that we won. Now, if we had a loss, then you'd probably be talking to somebody else standing here. But you do. But again, you take each situation and try to teach. You try to learn, and try to, inform the guys who made those mistakes, Steve, in those situations.
What was the teaching technique this morning? Do you light into them after something like that? Do you lay off the gas a little bit? How do you manage?
No, it's a little bit of both. It's tough love, but it's love because they're ours. They're not going anywhere. Last night was a little tougher. Today was more teaching. But again, there are correctable things. There are things that can be corrected, and we've been doing that all year. I mean, it's been tough love all year, and you have to learn from it. The last 4 seconds, well, we did the right thing. We wanted to foul in that situation. You always want to do that up three, especially they had no timeouts remaining. That was the foremost thing in our mind. I was concerned about the rebounding, which my concerns came true. You've got to be a tough hombre in a playoff game in that situation and make sure my guy doesn't get the rebound. And again, we've got to get better in that area, boxing out. I thought Chuck Hayes and Pat and JV did a good job of keeping their bigs off. Karolinko is one of the like a slinky going in there to get a rebound, not as much physical, but so they did a good job of getting him off. But now the perimeter guys have responsibilities too, and we fell asleep on them on the outside.
Game 3, you guys come back down big, almost sealed the game. It seemed that momentum sort of carried over to game 4 because you got off to a great start, won game 4. So
Right.
this
Well,
sort of flipped yesterday. I'm just thinking.
Well, all games are different. I totally agree. All games are different all throughout the league. I think if you look at all the games with teams that had big leads, San Antonio and Dallas, I watched that game. Houston, Portland. Everybody it's hard in this league because so much is on the line. You may get a lead, but you're going to get their best shot. And they got our best shot, like you said, in the game up there. But again, hopefully this puts us on high alert how we not let them, but how they got back into the game. All things that I feel like are correctable. You use that word? Was that word you used? Thinking? Okay. Again, a young kid. I love him to death, but you don't put yourself in that situation. You learn from that. Don't make that same mistake again.
What are you learning about your guys in this series?
Just reaction in certain situations is new. You could tell. You tell, especially young guys, things 15 times, and that 16th time they may do something different. Again, learning. We said that all year. We are a young team, and plus they've not been in this type of intense playoff setting before. It's a great experience. Any way you slice it, it's a positive for these guys to go through this and learn from it. What am I figuring out about him? To say it 16 times instead of 15. Say it again. Show them again. And again, that's the only way. But really, the only truly way you're going to learn is putting them out there and them going through it. Go ahead. No. Right. It was huge. He carried us. I mean, his heroics, his shots, his getting into the paint, his three-point shooting carried us. I mean, without that, we struggled because they've done a concerted effort of trying to take DeMar out. I thought DeMar did a much better job of moving the ball, getting the ball out of the traps quickly, and now we can work with something on the weak side. And he did a much better job with that, finding Kyle. But Kyle's play it carried us. I mean, without his offense, we would have really struggled. But he kind of ignited everybody, got us kind of free-flowing up and down the floor. But now we got to continue that for the third and fourth quarter to play that style and not get bunched up. But we got to keep the tempo going. And I thought we started kind of slowing the tempo down, and that's how they got back into it.
He said that these were kind of
America didn't know who Kyle was 3 weeks ago.
They know who he is. Well, I think that I disagree with that, Steve, a little bit, in the fact that I think he came that close.
You don't get on TV much.
Well, but again, I think the people who count, the coaches, he came that close to making the All-Star team. And I thought, so the people that count know who Kyle is, and, you know, they know him. They know him, and so he's helped himself. He's helped us, and I'm happy for him.
What does it say about him?
Final question,
He said that these were the biggest games of his career, essentially. To be able to have a career night like that.
Right, it's huge because again, this is the first team that he's had that's been his. You know, in Houston, he was a part of something big there. In Memphis, he was a part of the team there. But here, he's one of the main cogs. He's one of the core guys. So that's why it's important. All right, let's go.
There was a shot, a missed three from Terrence last night immediately after Kyle went over, shooting. How important has he been as a leader?
It's huge. It's huge. And at that point, I'm so happy for Terrence Ross. It looks like that lid has been taken off that seat. And so, you know, I was happy for him when he made his shot. But Kyle, it was good. But all the guys have been very encouraging of T. Ross, of keeping him going. And, you know, it's like riding a bicycle, a shooter. You're not going to forget how to ride a bike. So that's huge for Terrence. I was happy for him. And it looks like the lid has come off for him, and he's got to keep building on that. But, again, Kyle helped him by being a good leader.